Hello, everyone. This is Rob, and welcome back to Media Awareness, and in particular, my spoiler-free film suggestion series. In this particular episode, I'll be highlighting a film that is near and dear to my heart. Many of my friends and acquaintances are divisive about this film. However, it remains one of my favorite um, films to my top five favorite films of all time. I speak, of course, about Zardoz. I was first uh, introduced to Zardoz um, when I found it in my local video store when I was growing up, actually. And I I was blown away. This is a post-apocalyptic film. It is produced, directed, and written by John Borman, who was fresh off of doing Deliverance, I believe, and he went ahead and cast Sean Connery in this film, and it's an amazing journey. Um, there is a character, Arthur Frayne, who gives an introduction in this film, so this won't spoil anything. Um, Arthur Frayne tells you at the very beginning that he is Zardoz, and he is the puppet master. He controls most of the events that you will see. Um, and it's interesting because his character reoccurs throughout the film. Um, but initially, when the film begins, we see Zed, the character that Sean Connery plays, who is an exterminator, um, entrusted with eliminating and subduing a certain proportion of the natural population of the Earth. Arthur Frayne is part of the immortal class, a section of individuals who had obtained immortality via um, a crystal that their ancestors had created to give them the ability to be immortal. Many of the elders grew to hate immortality, whereas the younger generation embraced it. It was new to them. They were unaccustomed to a life cycle. However, when they meet Zed, who manages to infiltrate their zone, so to speak, utilizing the uh, Zardoz um, stone head, which Arthur Frayne uses to speak to people in the Outlands, Zed people, um, and instruct them on what they need to do. When Zed finds his way into the zone of the Immortals, they hadn't seen an Outlander in years, and they're baffled by Zed, and they're curious about Zed, and they put him through rigorous testing, uh, probing his mind, questioning him as to what his motives are and how he got there, and so much more. Um, the film raises a lot of questions about morality, about society, about life and death, and um, it's a very poignant film when you look at it on all of those levels. Is it strange? Yes, it's strange. However, um, it's not a strange in a way that you can't follow. It's very well thought out and um, very well executed. Um, Most of the visual effects have been done in camera, from what I could gather, and they are pretty stunning to behold. People have come at this film negatively due to some of the effects looking cheap. And if you just look at something without context, it's going to look cheap, especially if you're not paying attention to the plot. Um, I, on the other hand, find this to be an incredible work of art. I always have, and I've only grown to appreciate ZARDOZ more and more over time. Uh, there's this quandary that Zed is hoping to solve as to why his people were turned from exterminators into agriculturalists. And that's his main reason why he infiltrated the area of the Immortals. That's his goal. But what he learns while he's there totally changes the game. And that's what really brings ZARDOZ into focus. It is an amazing work of art by John Borman, um, and I can't recommend this enough. So if you have the opportunity to see ZARDOZ in some way, shape, or form, I highly recommend it. This is actually a Blu-ray. You can't tell necessarily um, by the case. It is a clear case, but it does have the Blu-ray insignia on the top and a very faint impression on the case. And it's available on Blu-ray as well as DVD. I don't know if it's available to stream, and if it is, I would caution you on the quality, because I don't necessarily know what you'll be getting. I've only ever watched the DVD and the Blu-ray. So, with that said, though, it is worth watching in any way, shape, or form, and at least experiencing. I myself have found that in watching and rewatching ZARDOZ multiple times, I find questions being answered throughout the film, and more questions being raised with each subsequent viewing. And those questions are then answered in other viewings, and the cycle just continues because there's so much to take in, and there's so much in this film. So check out ZARDOZ if you can, and leave a like, leave a comment if you have anything to say about ZARDOZ. Um, and feel free to contact me on Facebook. That's your best way of reaching me. There'll be a link in the description below to my Facebook page, a link to my Patreon. Consider becoming a member there for the perks I offer. And stay tuned for more videos to come very soon. This is Rob with Media Awareness, and I'll talk to you all soon. Have a great night. Bye.